It might be nice if I go ahead and unmute. Hey y'all, what it do? How y'all doing? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Um, I miss y'all. I really do miss you guys. I know you're probably like, what the heck is Paris doing here? Um, on a Friday. What am I doing here on a Friday? Well, y'all, this is what it's gonna be. I was supposed to come yesterday. Well, yesterday didn't happen, and I am learning to accept and understand when things don't happen. I really am. I really am learning not to really beat myself up about it. And yeah, I just turned my air on, so I'm sweating a little bit. So y'all, please don't wonder why I'm doing all that. Plus, I got this light on me. But hey y'all, I'm good. I'm really just come on in the room. I'm gonna get started in a second, and it's not gonna be long at all. Um, I just really wanted to get this out. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and it's probably gonna be a series. But I definitely feel like this is an important thing to talk about. I really do. It's been in my heart, and I think that it's gonna be helpful for me to get this out. Um, So y'all come on in the room. Come on in the room. Share, please. Share so somebody can come on in. And so, hey mom, I love you. I want you to share it so people can know that we're on and we're talking about. I know y'all see what the topic is, right? So come on in the room. Hey Yolanda girl, come on in here. Um, I not gonna be long, but I definitely want to talk about this. I believe that this is a super important topic that man, I just know it doesn't get enough play. We don't think it's a big deal, and actually, we make excuses as to why it's okay. And I might as well y'all see what I'm talking about. You might as well go into it. Um, we're talking about the trap of offense. The trap of offense. Yikes. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Um, let's just break down in layman's terms what we think about that when we hear that word. What do you think about it? Like what what is what comes to mind when you hear offense? And then why is it a trap? And why are you going there, Paris? Well, let's just talk about it in a normal conversation. Girl, she said this about my family, and I'm offended. I can't believe she would say that about me. Or, girl, she tried to pay for my food. Do she think I'm broke? I'm offended. Um, I can't believe it. Um, hey Ro, you said did I share it? Yes, it's live on my Facebook page. It is. It's live on all my pages right now. But or hey, when you said that way to me, you offended me. Um, and the reality of it is, we have all said it at one point in our life before. Um, and honestly, that was how we can convey our feelings. And there's nothing wrong with saying that somebody has offended you. Um, I'm going to give a definition. I always give definitions, but I really want you to get some context into why this is such a big deal. I'm going to explain the difference between just getting offended and then being trapped in offense. And I know you're probably like, Paris, like, why does this have to do with psychology? Well, first of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm going to back up a little bit. My name is Paris, and this is Conversations from Paris, because what we're going to do, we're going to talk about this stuff, these issues. And I know you probably think this is not mental health, but oh, it is. Oh, because offense can definitely start to alter some things in your brain. So absolutely, this relates. I thought this was super important because it comes up all the time. All the time. Yolanda, you said this came up yesterday with you because it happens all the time, sis. It happens all the time. So I want to dig into it a little bit. This is not going to be long. I do think I'm going to talk about it a few times because I can't possibly get everything out today. And I know this is not my normal day, but I just felt it. So I'm going to go and start moving with it. And then we'll just kind of see where it goes. First of all, y'all know what I do. I'm going to define what offense is, right? So I'm going to do like a basic definition. Then I'm going to do like a psychology definition. And then I'm going to tell you what I really believe it is from my thought process. So offense is, from the dictionary, is an annoyance, resentment brought on by a perceived insult or a disregard for oneself or oneself's standard of principles. Okay. Another definition, which is interesting, is a breach of law or rule or an illegal act. I thought that was interesting because how often do people say you teach people how to treat you? So sometimes you might say, like, somebody could do something to two different people and it did not offend this person, but it offended that person. Why? Because that one person has certain things they don't play about. Like, you can't play, like somebody might say, oh, you don't play with me and joke with me about certain things. But the other person might be okay with it. So if that person that doesn't like to be joked with has told you in the past that I don't deal with that well, then yeah, you broke the rule. If they told you don't joke with me, then that's how you offended them, because you broke the rule that they have about people not joking with them. Does that make sense? Okay. Yolanda, I see what you're saying. I want to just break this down first, and I'm going to come back to all of that in the comments. So that's just like the Webster Dictionary of offense. Psychology of the psychology's definition of it. I thought this one was so good. Excuse me. It is defined as a feeling that is triggered by a blow to a person's honor because it contradicts a person's self-concept and identity. Let me say that again. I'm going to slow that down a little bit. Offense is, in the psychology, the way they define it, is a feeling that is triggered. You see why in psychology now it's a feeling that's triggered by a blow to someone's honor because it contradicts a person's self-concept and identity. Sounds familiar? I just thought that was such a deep, really good definition, because, I mean, that's why people go so hard, because they feel dishonored, right? Triggered by a blow to a person's honor. And it contradicts their self-concept and identity. Let me tell y'all why that's so good. It challenges their self-concept. Meaning, if I think that I'm a great chef and you taste some food that I make and you say, oh, well, you learn how to cook, I am now offended because my self-concept and my identity is a great chef. And you have now said something to me that challenges that. Now, you could really believe my food is not good, or a majority of people might not believe my food is good, but I think it is. So you have challenged that, and I'm having a hard time with it. Okay, just that, right? And I think that's a good analogy, because how often do people have different taste buds? That somebody can tell you they can cook, but baby, everybody can't cook like you think they should be able to cook. Everybody's, you might be used to your parents cooking. You might be used to a certain type of cuisine, and you can't just take everybody's word for it. So that's the definition, the psychological definition. I just thought that was such a good one. Sometimes they don't get it right. But I think that was a really, really good one. That definition came from a person named Pogge and D'Errico. That was just a really good, they're just people in psychology, but it's a really good definition. I really like that one, right? Here's a couple of reasons that it's okay to be offended, right? Let's just talk about it. We talk about stuff all the time. I am going to promote having feelings, having deep, true feelings, not pretending like you're okay, And that's another show I'm gonna do. Jada just did a table talk on fake. Was it called fake forgiveness? No, it was. I think it might have been called fake forgiveness. Anyway, it's when we say that we forgive somebody but we really don't. I'm gonna come back to that because that's a good one. Oh my God, it was so good. We're gonna talk about that. We really are. But or you forgive somebody for the sake of trying to move on and not seem difficult. How many times have we all done that? But this is particularly talking about I tell you feelings are good, but again, you don't want to be led by your feelings. You're supposed to have them, process them, release them, not be led by them. So it's okay to have the feeling of offense. You offended me with something that you said. You offended me with something that you did. You offended me with the way that you're behaving. It's a normal part of life. So don't get me out here. You're not going to screenshot me and say, Paris said that it's wrong that I'm offended. I'm never saying that. It's absolutely a normal part of life. Offense happens every day. We deal with it as it comes. This is the trap, though. The trap is when you get stuck in that feeling. Remember, I told y'all feelings are temporal. Emotions are temporary. They're not meant to be something that you wear on your sleeve. And it's not meant to be something that you can't, when people talk about, they walk on their shoulder, I'm angry. Sir or ma'am, that is not something to brag about. If you're supposed to process through that. We've all been angry before. You're not supposed to wear it like a badge of honor, right? You're not supposed to wear, even I'll go to the other extreme. I'm happy. Happy is a feeling. You're not going to always be happy. There's a such thing as called toxic positivity. We'll talk about that later too. But you're not going to always be happy. It is a temporary emotion that you'll cycle through. Now, can you have moments where you're feeling an emotion most of the time? Sure. But it's not meant for you to stay in it, right? It's a feeling. So when we talk about offense, it's a state that you feel. It's a feeling that you encounter, and it is meant, just like the rest of the emotions, it's meant for you to process through it. You are not supposed to get stuck there. And that is the problem with it. That is why I call it the trap of offense. So many people get stuck in offense. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Not only do they get stuck in offense, but they start to live a life that is filtered through that offense. Y'all, listen, I ain't no preacher, but I know that just hit. I know it did, because I don't even think we think like that. You don't realize, remember I tell you, you see out the lens of your trauma. So I'm never going to say that somebody's offense or their realization with the offense or their what's the word I want to use? Their encounter or their them saying that they are offended. I will never say that didn't happen, nor do I ever say that they don't have the right to feel that way. Never. Your feelings are yours. Your experience, that's the word I was trying to use. Your experience is that, exactly, is your experience. You absolutely own your feelings. No one can tell you that I didn't offend you, or why did that offend you? No one can say that. I'm a big proponent of allowing people's truth to stand. Let me help y'all out. No one has the right to cut and evaluate your truth. That's your truth. And we all have our own. You could have 3 people in the same room and they can view something 3 different ways. And the way that they perceived it, again, is filtered through their lens, which is filtered through their experiences. So it's no right or wrong way sometimes how people explain it. I'll even go to the Bible. In the Bible, you have the Gospels, and they all sound slightly different because they all had a different perspective. Same situation, slightly different perspective. Sometimes people can just have a really skewed way of seeing things. But again, that comes through their experiences, which a lot of them is trauma. Y'all know I bring that trauma word often because it's real. But the reality is, okay, these are your truths. You're offended. Okay, so we have come to a understanding that you became offended by something someone did. That's fine. It happens every day. There is a decision you have at that point. And the decision you have is if you're going to stay there in that trap of offense. That's what you got to figure out. Am I going to stay here? And I know people say, well, Paris, nobody wants to be offended. And I'm not sure that that's true. I am not telling you, I need you to hear what I'm saying and not what you perceive me to say. I am not saying rush through your feelings. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you don't necessarily are owed an apology. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you deserve to have that person back in your life and deal with them on a regular basis. I'm not saying any of those things. What I am saying is offense is a trap, and it will keep you right there, and it will cloud every single thing that you do with that particular person that offended you. Okay, let me give y'all an example. So let's say somebody, I don't know, ate your last ice cream that you bought, your favorite ice cream. They went into the refrigerator and ate your ice cream. I cannot believe you ate my ice cream. I'm offended that you would even touch my stuff. I'm upset at you. I'm offended, right? Okay, so let's say that happened Monday. Have you ever had something else come up, and everything else that come up, you now blame that person? Oh, it must have been so and so because they touched my ice cream on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it must be so and so because you know how they are. Or you know what? Because so and so targeted me, I know that they're going to continue to target me. And listen, I've done the same thing. Like something come up missing. Oh yeah, it was so and so. Because it's so fresh in my mind. It's not right, but it's just what happens. Our memory happens like that. You might not mean to accuse, but you do. You might not think you're accusing even when you say you asked, but what's even your purpose for asking if you didn't accuse in some way, right? So, now that person is suspect number one every time, every single time, right? And so what happens? You find yourself maybe the next time or two looking at that person first when anything happens that's close to that. The way that you know you're in the trap of offense is because you're not just picking out the next thing that happens. You're not just saying, oh, that exact same thing happened. Like ice cream was stolen again. Okay, that's that person. No. Now we're 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6 months out. Couple years out. And you're still blaming that person because you didn't get over it. Because you're in the trap of offense. And I know you're like, Paris, that's crazy. Nobody does that. I want you to think about it, though. I want you to think about it. Oftentimes, we don't really process through a thing. And it's a complexity. It's a complex feeling to offense is. It's a complex feeling because we have intensity, we have intention, motive. It's a lot of things that go into that. I'm going to talk about it, but it comes down to being able to really feel like somebody singled you out. And that's why I think offense is so deep, because it feels super personal, right? It feels super personal. I've heard people say, if you loved me, you wouldn't have done that. I've heard people say, you know me. Why would you do that to me? I've heard people say, no, that's just not kind to do somebody that you care about. Right? Um, so the reason that offense hits really hard and sometimes you get trapped in it is because it feels so personal. It feels super personal. And then I hear you saying, well, Paris, isn't it personal? That's a good question. Um, I don't know if you guys heard any of my lives before, but I say something that's probably a little controversial, but 90% of things that people do have nothing to do with you. That's hard to hear, but that's true. 90% of what people do have nothing to do with you personally. Yes, they could have done it to you. Yes, they could have said it about you, but it doesn't really have anything to do with you. I know you like Paris. Nope. They took my ice cream. They knew it was my ice cream. It was personal. Or if we want to think about it, do they always take stuff that doesn't belong to them? Are they greedy? Are they somebody who is selfish and insensitive? Do they take a lot of stuff that doesn't belong to them? Do they think about themselves first before they think about anybody else? So you see what I'm saying? It might have been a offense against you in that moment, but it might have had nothing to do with you. It might be their character. Their character could be that of somebody who literally doesn't respect people's things. You see what I mean here? It really had nothing to do with you. There are a lot of opportunists in this world that will see an opportunity and literally prey on you and do something that's not kind or not nice because that literally was an opportunity there, right? And it seems personal because it happened to you, but a lot of times it's just who they are. I struggled with that for so long with people that were close to me that I thought really loved me, or I knew that they loved me. I just didn't understand how they could do something so unkind to me. And it took me a very long time to realize that this is just unfortunately part of their nature at that moment. Doesn't mean it defines who they totally are, but it just means that is how they show up in the world. And it's not just me. Because when you have a person that lacks integrity, they lack it at work, they lack it in all their relationships, they lack it in their work ethic. It shows up in every part of their life. That's a character trait. And yes, I took it personally that you did it to me because you say you love me. Why would you do that to me? Should not be exempt from your character flaw. I just hit a whole vein, and I'm not sure who I hit that for, but should not be exempt from your character flaw, Mr. Man, sister girl. I know you lie to people, but I can't believe you lied on me. Haven't we said stuff like that? I know you gossip about other people, but you gossip about me? And it's like it take you to step outside the situation to really see it. That's just that person's character flaw. This is what they do. It feels hurtful because you're like, why would you do it to me? Because if you love me, shouldn't that keep you from doing that? I wish life was that easy. I wish life was simple like that. I wish life was that way where people can say, hey, this is off limits. I'm not going to do that to that person. But guess what? A lot of times people don't even know why they're doing something. They have no idea why they're doing it. Have y'all ever heard, do y'all remember what Winona Ryder was? I'm going to get this wrong. Yeah, I think that's her name. That's the rich country lady that was in these stores stealing stuff. She made thousands, probably over $1 million. And this lady's in stores stealing things in her purse. Why would she do that? She didn't know why. She was addicted to it. It was something that was going on. She had an addiction that was fueled by some other trauma that happened in her life, that something that was missing. And so this is what she chose. You know, that came from something else, but she didn't even know why she was doing it. When they asked her, I don't know. It was filling a void. And so how often do people do that? When people are doing things, they don't even know why they're doing it. They do it to you. And you know what's so funny? It's hard for us to accept apologies, isn't it? When we feel like people don't really mean it, especially if they've done it more than once. Oh, I'm about to hit a real another big vein. I used to always tell my son, this is so funny. I used to always tell him, don't apologize unless you're really sorry. And the reason is because I was coming from a place of hurt. Don't apologize to me just to say it. I want you to believe it. But now that I'm more into psychology and understanding the psyche and the mind and the complex feelings that we have, believe it or not, it's possible for someone to feel regret, feel shame, feel condemnation when they do something wrong to you, and hold on, and then they still do it again. Yikes. Yikes. Doesn't that suck? Wow, somebody can literally do something wrong to you, apologize, and it be sincere. In that moment, they're literally sincere. They mean it. They are regretful. Man, I shouldn't have done that. And they can turn their big head self around and do it again. Man, that's unfair. That's not okay. It shouldn't be all right. It should not be something that should be permitted. It should be foul on the play. Foul on the play. I shouldn't be able to pinch you, say I'm sorry, and then pinch you again tomorrow. I shouldn't. And so it becomes a point of, why would people do that? It must be personal, right? It must be personal. You must hate me. You must got a vendetta against me. You don't like me because you done did something to me more than once. You done did something to me 2, 3, 4 times. You must hate me. Yeah, I got a hard pill for you to swallow. Even that don't have nothing to do with you. Woo! Yeah, listen. When I talk this talk, I need you to understand it's not just helping you, it's helping me too. As I'm thinking about this stuff, this is helping me. Man, this is so good. This is gonna be deep what I'm about to say. Y'all even see in marriages and when certain people cheat and people like, well, they should have, and listen, let me, for all the folks that want to say something or screenshot something, I don't care. Let me help y'all out. I'm no relationship expert. I'm not, any of that. Y'all know I'm single right now. And I'm not somebody that proclaims to be an expert, but I'm going to say this and I'm going to stand flat-footed in what I'm about to say. And if you want to talk about it, we can. That's why this is Conversations from Paris, because you can have a conversation with Paris. But oftentimes you see people who cheat on somebody in their marriage and they say, I love this person. And then they do it again. And then, people are saying, well, they didn't really love that person because if they loved that person, they would never do that. They would never do that stuff to them. And I used to feel the exact same way, y'all. I absolutely 100% felt exactly that same way. Now, listen, hear me out before you think I'm picking a side. I am not. I believe cheating is 100% wrong. I think it is deplorable. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure if I could proceed with somebody who decided to cheat or it happened. I mean, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. I don't know. To me, my heart thinks I can't, but I digress. But guess what? The psychology piece of it is that you don't even get. If that person had commitment issues before you guys got married, did you think it was gonna stop once you got married? I'm sorry, y'all. I get real excited when I come to these aha moments. Sometimes people really do feel that way. They feel like, hey, this is gonna disappear, but it doesn't mean that, right? It doesn't mean that. Or I'll go a little deeper. What if somebody's done something that you never saw from them, but it came up to the surface in your relationship, right? And so it is logical for you to believe that it's something about you that made that person cheat on you. It is logical for you to, I understand that. I get it. It would affect my security. It would affect my self-esteem. It would make me insecure. Because I would think you're not happy with me. I would think it's something about me that you're not happy with that made you step outside of our relationship. And that could be a part of it. But when we talk about integrity and being able to say, hey, I'm going to choose the thing that is right versus the thing that's wrong, a person that's not happy with their relationship will either confront the unhappiness or leave the relationship. They would not go out and cheat and get something outside of the relationship. That's not how that works, right? So even if somebody only did something, like if somebody never cheated until they got with you ever, let's just say that's true. It just means something bubbled up into the surface with you, but it still might have nothing to do with you. Y'all, I'm preaching and y'all ain't really even saying it. I'm just telling y'all this because, man, this is an aha moment that I'm saying out loud. I know it but I think that even it's challenging some of my own past beliefs, right? That would say that they obviously are not, they can't love me if they did that to me. They couldn't dare love me if they did that to me. And y'all, it's not true. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all, because you already know how I live. Boundaries, 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 boundaries. Okay. So what does that mean? You need to have healthy boundaries. If somebody's hurting you or doing something that's wrong to you and you don't like it, baby, put them boundaries up. And you can have a right to push that person out of your life if they cannot respect how you want to be treated. I'm just speaking about the intent behind it, right? So let me bring you back into when we're talking about offense. I'm talking about like cheating is a huge offense, right? I'm not excusing it. You have the right to say, I didn't sign up for this. We took vows. We made a covenant and you broke the covenant, or you did something that I cannot put up with. You have the right to move. I'm just saying all it means is it doesn't mean that person doesn't love you or their sorry was not sincere. It doesn't mean they didn't mean it, because you would think, well, why would you do it if you felt that way? And that's a bigger, more complex question that you need to go to therapy to figure out. That person needs to go to therapy. They need to do the self-work. That's another thing. Public service announcement. Some of y'all couples need to go to individual therapy first before you go to couples therapy. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, Paris, you're not in a relationship. You don't have the right to say it. That's fine. Don't listen to me. It's okay. I'm not going to be hurt if you don't listen to me, but just try to hear where I'm coming from. A lot of people need to work on their self individually before you can work on a relationship that consists of two people trying to make something work. You don't even know why you arguing with him. And you don't even know why you upset every time she says something. You don't realize she annoys you because she reminds you of your mom when she used to nag you. And you don't realize that you always hold on and clingy to him because of your daddy who left. Ooh. These underlying truths affect the union. And therefore, you don't have a union if you don't deal with the facts. We can't fix the thing until we fix the two people in the thing. Okay? All right. And so, it comes up where the point, and that was just, I'm sorry, that was, y'all know me, I go on tangents. Don't let me go on these tangents, okay? That's just me going on a tangent. But like, you come back, the whole point is about offense. If somebody does that to you, and this is where the trap comes in, you have the right to be offended. But at some point, you have to make a decision about if you're going to stay there. And there comes the trap of offense. It is something that will have you harping on something from last year, harping on something from 5 years ago, harping on something that happened 10 years. It's true what they said. People don't remember every word you say, but they remember how you made them feel. So if somebody felt offended, they literally can hold on to that thing. And we think it's just unforgiveness. I mean, some of that's in there too, but it's mainly offense. Mainly offense. Y'all, I'm about to read these comments because y'all know y'all getting jazzy in these comments. But so that's what we need to really be careful for, y'all. Y'all know I don't talk about stuff if I don't personally deal with it. I have gotten in the trap of offense so many times. Let me tell you about one that's a relative that I really got out of like not too long ago. I used to get offended. I got offended. Excuse me. I got offended when my son started growing up. And I know you're thinking the parents, that's silly. And I'm just being honest. I did. When my son didn't want to go to the movies with me anymore, when I used to try to talk to him and he would do that teenager shrug or act like he just so busy, when he wanted to talk to his friends more than me, when the only time he talked to me, he wanted to talk about money, I was just like in my whole feelings. Not that I didn't know this would happen. I mean, we all know about it, right? We all hear about it. But I think because it's just been me and him, I really honestly just got offended when he did it. I did. I did. Listen, y'all just don't be telling the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth. I got offended when my son didn't want to hang out with me no more. I got offended when he didn't want to talk to me no more. It hurt my little feelings. And every time he did it, I grew this little bigger resentment about it. Like, how dare I give him birth? How dare I put a house over his head? How dare I put him in a nice school district? How dare I feed him every day. I get him nice clothes and shoes. I put him in activities. How dare he don't want to talk to me? That sounds so wrong and taboo and childish of me, right? I'm just telling y'all the truth. It's more parents that think like that than you think. And if you're not gonna say yes, I don't care. But I know it. I know I'm not alone, baby. I know I'm not. From conversations I've had, I'm not alone. It's this little thing that we have, like we own our children, right? I mean, yeah, there are children, but like really, God gave them to us, and we're just the vessel to carry it. But I'll talk about that another time. But we get to a point like we're offended. You know why? Because we look at it as disrespect, right? And I had to learn that him wanting to assert his independence, him growing up a little bit and taking a little bit step away from me, him trying to figure out this world and navigate what it looked like through the lens of Makai, but not Paris, him wanting a little space to figure out what he really likes and what he dislikes, him trying to figure out his emotions that he never felt before and trying to figure it out without having to come and tell mommy everything he felt, but want to do it himself. Even though I was there, he just wants to figure it out himself. That had nothing to do with Paris. And I made it about me. That had nothing to do with Paris. It had everything to do with him growing up and trying to figure life out. Him going through his process had nothing to do with me. It was not disrespectful. Now, there are times that he could have got disrespectful with his tone and different things, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the whole action of him moving away further from me as he got older had nothing to do with him not liking me, had nothing to do with him disrespecting me. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with him. And I made it about me. I did. I made it about me. Yeah, I'm going to tell the truth on me. I made it about me. I made it about me. My little boy, it's only been me and him. I've been down like 4 flats. Why the heck would he do that? Why he act like he's too busy to talk to me? Why is his friends more important to me? I'm just being honest with y'all. It was hard for me. And I had to really get into a moment where I realized that had nothing, that I was being resentful because of it. And I started to be a little mean. I'm just going to say this. Not like abusive. Not abusive, but I was being a little petty. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be a little petty. So like he asked me for money. Oh, now you want to talk to me. Oh, now you see me. Oh, you hear me now. Oh, you hear me now. Like, I think back to how silly that was. I'm the whole mama. I'm whole acting like a little kid because he's just growing up or trying to figure it out. Because darn it, Paris, you used to be a teenager. You remember what it was like trying to figure life out. You remember you didn't tell your deepest, darkest secrets to your parents every time. No, you didn't do that. It's not the first thing you did. It's not. I didn't do it. So of course he doesn't do it. So me going like tit for tat for him, that's immature of me. You know why? Because I was stuck in the trap of offense. Y'all, I know I'm not alone, whether you said it or not. I know I'm not alone. I think that's a big trap between the parental-child relationship. Baby, we call everything disrespect, don't we? Everything is disrespectful. Your child sneezed after you told him to shut up. I know you didn't talk back, baby. He just sneezed. He wasn't talking back. He was not talking back. He was sneezing. But we just so controlling sometimes. We just want everything to move at the sound and the speed of what we do. And I mean, don't get me wrong. When it's your house, you get the right to say what, set the tone for how things gonna go. But baby, wait until your child has enough wherewithal not to do what you said to do. It is going to happen. I'm not asking you. It's going to happen. And so you got to learn to be okay with the idea that they can choose a different thing from you and it not be disrespect. Now, he might not be able to do that when he was younger as much, but as he got older, I let him choose more things. You know, I didn't force him to have this type of gym shoe. I didn't force him to want to go this place. I didn't force him to eat certain things. Like that came as he got older. Okay, so let me get back to the trap of offense. That was my story of offense. You see how easy it is to fall on the fence? I had to then go apologize to him and say, I am sorry because I have been operating in offense because it hurt my feelings when you didn't want to hang out with me. I said this to my son. If I brought him on here right now, he'll tell you. I said, I'm sorry. It hurt my feelings when you didn't want to hang out with me. It hurt my feelings when you don't want to talk to me. It hurt my feelings when you shrugged me off. It hurt my feelings when, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And so I got offended. So every time I interacted with you, I had a shrug on my shoulder. Every time I interacted with you, I was being petty. And that was not right because I'm the parent. I really should know better. So I apologize because I don't want to operate like that with you anymore. You see that? You see that? Now you might think, well, did it take all that? Did you have to say all that to him? You ain't have to say. You could just forget. You could have just dealt with it and just treated him better. I could have, but let me tell you why you got to do that. Because if you don't do that, what I just did, the apology, is that all that past pettiness that I did, see that stuff he still remembers that. And a lot of the way he reacts to me is how I've set the tone. So if I'm petty and if I'm being emotional and I'm being, mean because of what I feel like he didn't do before, then he's reactive to that. So the way that you disarm somebody is to apologize and say, you know what? I was wrong. I set the tone the wrong way. I should have known better. I apologize. Then now they feel wrong for being angry because now they don't have a reason to be angry because now they realize, dang, that person just owned up for what they said and what they did. Now I can act differently and I'm disarmed. Now I'm not angry no more because they're not angry and I'm not just responding to what they're doing. Now I can sit in my real feelings and I don't have to just be angry because they were being angry. You see what I mean? This is why that trap of offense is so dangerous. I was just talking about me and my son there, but I know you can think of 2-3 people in your life right now that you're offended at something they did and you have not let it go. And you think that you have the right to feel that way. And I'm going to say you have the right to be offended. I'm never going to say that you can't be offended. What I will say is, but baby, how long? A feeling is supposed to be temporary. How long will you hold on to what so-and-so did to you when you was in 6th grade? How long will you hold on to the fact that you was waiting on your daddy to come pick you up one day and he never showed up? I mean, I know he did some other stuff after that, but that's the memory that you never forget. That's the thing that goes back to your mind every single time. How long will you hold the fact that someone was always lying to you against them? And it's been 5 years. How long? The trap of offense hurts you more than it hurts them. And the reality of it is such a sneaky thing that originates from a point of truth, because you did get offended and you had the right to be offended. But because it originates from a point of truth, you think everything that comes from it is true. Let me say that again. Because it originates from a point of truth, you think everything that comes from it is true. I don't want to get biblical on you, but the Bible said your heart is deceitful. There's no good thing that comes from it. Why? And you thinking, well, no, how can that be true when we use our heart to love people? But we're imperfect. And so our love is imperfect often. So the reality of it is your heart, those feelings you have, a lot of times they're not based on sound facts. These are just pieces of your experience that's filtered through your lens, things that you might have not cleaned up in your mind, stuff that you didn't clean up in your heart. Now every way you see something, your lens, it has to go through those filters. So, if I have some water and it's clear, if I pour this in some chocolate syrup, it's not gonna be clear anymore. It's gonna be brownish, right? And then if I pour some red dye in it, it's gonna be murky colored, because now I'm looking at it and it's no longer looks like water to me. It's not clear. It's not pure. It's through the filter of my stuff, right? And so if you believe that your fact that's right here that started your offense and everything come from it is a fact, then you're deceived. How many times have you had a memory and you know that thing happened, but do you replay the memory slightly different? You told the story differently a little bit. Like maybe you really did go to the zoo back in the day, but maybe you tell the story that you got a pretzel at the zoo and some, and you had the best day ever. And maybe somebody who was there corrects you and say, you didn't get the pretzel at the zoo. You got some cotton candy. Well, it's not that you was purposely trying to tell a lie. It just is that the way that memory works is that you misplaced it with some other experience, right? You got the lines crossed, right? So you got the basic fact together, but you could skew some of the details, right? So if that could happen in your memory of something that's happened that was true, how don't you believe that could happen when we're talking about an offense and a situation that originated from truth? But baby, after you hold that thing long enough, you attach stuff to it. You ever see somebody, you tell them, oh, you can get some stuff, I'll go get something, get something in the store, like a bag of chips. I'll pay for it. And they like, really? And then have you ever seen somebody to get more than you told them they can get? They get extra stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, I told you to get a bag of chips and you got extra. Well, that's how people tend to do. They put on extra stuff. You remember? Oh, I got a better one. Remember the game Telephone? The game Telephone. Remember literally when you started the message, by the time it got to the second person, it already sounded different, right? By the time it got to the in-person, totally different message. Man, that's how life happens. You, even with thoughts, you start a thought a certain way and then it filters down through some stuff and it ain't that thought anymore. It's pieces that change. Things didn't go like that. The story ain't quite the same. And it doesn't mean that you purposely misrepresented it. It just means that time started telling a different story, which is why you cannot hold on to things, because you start to tell the story that makes your heart feel vindicated. That's the whole word. You start to tell the story that makes your heart feel vindicated. You're going to start to tell it the way that people sympathize with you, because you want them to understand and feel the pain that you felt that time. And your pain was true, but you might have put some extra razzle dazzle on it. You might have twisted it around a little bit. You might have perceived it a different way than it actually happened, right? And so, what am I saying all this to say? I'm saying this to say this thing can steal joy from you. This thing can steal um, the opportunity of love from you. This thing can steal your peace. This thing can steal relationships from you. This thing can steal opportunities from you. When you choose to operate in offense, baby, it's like poison. And literally, it spreads to everything that you do. Tell me y'all don't know somebody who says stuff like, I can't trust nobody. I can't trust nobody. Okay? I can't trust nobody. And that's their whole mantra. Like, they don't believe they can trust anybody because, hey, parents, girl, they can't trust nobody because they've been hurt. And so now their past experiences have influenced every area of their life now. So now when somebody partners with them at work, nope, I don't want to partner with them. I work by myself. I'm good. Don't trust nobody. They meet a new person, romantic relationship. Nope, I don't trust nobody. I've been done before. You're not going to get me again. Boo boo, I'm straight. I'm good. They meet a new person that wants to be their friend. No new friends. Appreciate you. I'm cool over here, sis. Bruh, I'm good. I don't need nobody. I don't trust nobody. Try to talk to your siblings. Nope, I remember what you did to me when we was growing up. I don't mess with you like that. I don't trust nobody. Y'all get what I'm going to? You get what happens? So a couple of situations of hurt and offense can morph into a stance and I'm going to even say a word curse that you speak over yourself, where you now have a gate around you. And you now don't let anybody in because you are so scared. You're so fearful of feeling that hurt again. You have let the trap of offense corner you in. And now you can't even move like you need to move in life because you're literally out here scared. You're literally, you literally put yourself in a prison. And this is the part where I really want you guys to get this because you got to step out of it. I know that I'm not even done with this because it's so deep, but I'm out. I didn't realize I'm already up on an hour almost. Okay. I'm about to read these comments, but let me just say this if I can say nothing else. Work on this. Think about it. I want you to take a journal, piece of paper. I need you to start to write down. When I say who hurt you, I want you to go back and think about all the people that you can still think that hurt you, because if you can still think about it, that means it still hurts. Now, you might say, well, no, I forgave that person, Paris, but I want you really to think about it. And sometimes we say we forgive somebody, but really the hurt is still there. And it shows up in other places. You wonder why you don't want to meet new people. You wonder why because if that offense is there, it bleeds into other stuff. And let's not dare go into that person. What if that person has tried to reconcile? They've apologized. They tried to come back. And you like, nope, I can't never see, no. And guess what? You have the right to say that, but maybe that hurts you more than her. You know how much energy it takes to constantly be upset at somebody every time they come into your presence, every time you think about it? Do you know? I know. If you don't know, I know. I've been there, done that. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. I remember walking into somebody walked into the room, my stomach instantly curled up, and I was just like, and I was all laughing before they got there, and I was like, oh my God, here they go. And I'm just angry, and I'm just like, oh, can't believe it. I'm just like, my stomach, my head started hurting. my body got warm. My stomach was messed up. And I just literally, my whole body tensed up, everything when this person showed up. And even though what they did I felt was deplorable and I had every right for it, I had to stop myself and say, Dad, man, I was just having a good time. Am I going to allow every single time they come in my presence to mess up my experience? No, I'm not giving nobody that much power over me. No, 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 no. So whether or not they are sorry, or regretful for real, that has nothing to do with it. I'm going to let the offense go because I don't have the luxury of allowing myself to go somewhere dark and heavy every time I encounter somebody because of this thing. Nope, I don't want to live like that. I had to make a decision. Yes, offense can end with a decision. Yes, that's how you get out of the trap of offense. So first I say, I want you to journal it. I want you to write down any offenses you can think about. I bet you everybody has at least one. At least once. I don't care. If you even say Paris, nope, I don't hold nothing. Don't listen to Paris, the person. Listen to Paris, the psychological or mental health advocate. Trust me. Your behavior is not, random. It's not. The way you act, the way you respond, the things you do is for a reason. Okay? I thought I was very logical. I never really thought I was an emotional type of person because I didn't get wild and crazy. But the things that I did do, there was a reason. I withdrew first, right? And I withdrew because that was a mechanism, a defense mechanism. That's what I was trying to say, So yeah, I didn't do all whoa, but I would withdraw in a hurry. That's how I fought it. That's still a reaction. It's still a pain point behind that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, this is how you're gonna do the work. I want you guys to really write down some offenses, and then I'm gonna tell you what to do with it next time, okay? Because it's gonna be next time. Because I can't get into all of it, but I just want you guys to realize the trap of offense is dangerous. It is super dangerous. I'm gonna explain how you a little bit deeper into how you get into some of these things. I'm gonna explain a little bit more about how you can come out of it. I'm gonna explain a little bit more about the right to feel what you do. You have all the rights, but like, who wants to be in jail? Like, who wants to stay in jail? Like, that's like somebody opening the jail cell, giving you the key to get out, and you sit in the jail cell like, nope, I'm cool. I'm gonna stay in here. Appreciate you. And you're like, but I thought you hated in here. Yeah, but this is where I'm gonna be. It's the same way. When you choose not to heal, when you choose not to deal with the things that's in your life and you can make better, you are essentially saying that I'm going to choose to stay in jail. That's essentially what you're doing. And I don't want that for y'all. Okay. So I'm about done. Let me just go through some of these comments and make sure I don't forget any of the things. Yolanda, girl, you was in here. Yeah, you put it here. That's how manipulation begins. Listen, it really does. Manipulation can definitely come from a root of offense. Absolutely. And I don't even want to go deeper. I'll tell y'all a little bit more, but I said to y'all real quietly, offense is even a spirit. But I'm not going to go deep yet. Y'all ain't ready for that one. That's a whole nother situation. But just keep that quiet, okay? Keep that quiet. I'm going through these comments, see if I missed anything. You said that's why people have multiple marriages. Listen, absolutely. When you don't realize that there's something that's going on in your marriage and it wouldn't have nothing to do with you, they do it to everybody. It's something with them. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything to cause it. That's something they got to deal with. You said that's going on with Tia Mowry. I really don't. I saw that they was divorced and I think they're back together. I don't really know. I don't even know what's going on. Ro, you gonna say all these miserable married folks give advice they don't even follow. Lord Jesus. Bro, don't be getting no started. You know people how they feel. You can't say nothing about marriage unless you marry. I get it though. I get it. Don't speak from a seat you never sat in. I get it. I'm just saying though, I don't have to be in the burning building to know it's on fire. And that's on period. I might not be able to tell you the best way to put it out, but I know it's on fire. Don't shoot the messenger. Y'all want me to call 911 if the building on fire, don't y'all? Y'all be tripping, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I love you guys. I hope that you got something from this. My goal was to share what I had. And my goal was to open the conversation up on offense. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm sorry it got so dark. I forgot to turn all my lights on. It just was light, y'all know, when we started the broadcast, and then it's dark all of a sudden. I got the bright light on me. I didn't turn the rest of the lights on, so I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna get my life together. But I just wanted to jump on today real quick because I felt like I really need to just get this out. I'm gonna have more. We'll have more conversations on it. Start to think about these offenses, right? You don't want that on you, okay? Go ahead and start working. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments so I can know that you're watching it. Catch the replay. But y'all, I'm telling you, all these little nuggets, man, I'm telling you, I've grown so much because I laid down offense. I stepped out of the trap of offense. And you can do it too. I want that for you guys. I really want it for you. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. And like I always say, you are enough. I'm going to tell y'all that every single time. You stay in your lane because that's enough for you. You're enough. Keep doing what you do. We need you. The world needs you. Right? Don't change. The world needs you. Bye.